Years ago, I worked retail, and an older woman came up to me and asked me a series of questions in Spanish. I told her that I didn't speak Spanish. She switched to English and then began to scold me in the fact that I didn't know Spanish. When I informed her that I was part of the Mescalero and Raramuri tribes, she waved her hand dismissively, saying, "It's all the same." This is a classic example of indoctrination over generations. Colonizers rewrite history, removing their atrocities and genocide and replacing them with colonizer narratives. These colonizer narratives are used to create colonizer institutions that reinforce colonizer identities on enslaved populations. Older generations of enslaved and oppressed populations grew up in a society where assimilation was the only way to survive. The result of this forced assimilation is a self-regulating enslaved population that limits the indigenous exploration of their roots. Oftentimes, older generations scold younger generations for not participating in colonizer language, or perhaps leaving colonizer belief systems, or even questioning colonizer caste systems. Colonial caste systems were invented by empires in order to justify enslaving, selling, and genociding entire populations. This caste system was devised by empires, placing Europeans over all of the other races that they enslaved in genocide. Now we see generations that have reinforced belief systems based off of this caste system. Lighter-skinned people may not even be aware of the fact that they have certain advantages based off of the way they look, versus dark-skinned people who are perpetually fighting to get any kind of access to programs that are easily accessible to colonizers and those who are colonizer appearing. For many younger generations born in America, they are indoctrinated with the American myth, that America is the best place you could possibly be born in, and that you're incredibly lucky and should be grateful for having been pulled from your mother's womb within an American boundary. The American myth is just that, a myth, a completely made-up colonizer fable designed to help enslave oppressed populations and keep American labor forces at work, rather than looking up and questioning why the hell they have to give up all of their rights for billionaires and tech moguls. National myths are tools of oppression. But when those particular myths begin to crumble, younger generations can see the truth between the cracks. With the deployment of ICE and a government that is openly and transparently fascist, indigenous and oppressed populations have another reason to unify. For younger generations discovering their lineage tied directly to indigenous populations, it has ignited a new discovery and a reclamation of cultural identity. Cultural reclamation means returning to the source, unearthing all sorts of truths, good and horrifying. This discovery of the truth forces one to confront their own understandings of reality, who they are, who they thought they were, and who they might become. This calls on empowering the individual, indigenous or from an oppressed population, and questioning the authorities that be. For fascist regimes, it is a very, very scary time because this unification of diversity means an end to their own colonial oppression.